Hello, hello, whoever is among us right now. Oh shit! I gotta go grab my pencil, guys. I'll be right back. Hey, Mark. How we doing? So I don't remember where the hell the inspiration for today's stream came from. Um, I know I was researching something, and then I saw something that had something to do with some mythological things associated with frogs and how they're associated with sorcery and all this kind of stuff. And so I wrote just a random uh, note down: draw like wizard or sorcerer frog for stream. uh, hey Parker. Um, and so I came across that note and was like, all right, let's do it. I have no reference around me or anything. I'm just gonna wing it. This will probably be a quickish one today. I'm expecting. But let's do it. I have kind of an idea of how I want to approach the frog anatomy, but I haven't decided much on costume or anything like that yet. No, unless I brought it up in relation to this. But no, it was like I said, I think I was researching. It might have been something to do with combat fairies. I don't remember. Something I was researching, and then it came up. Maybe we did, but I added the note completely independent from the stream because I don't remember exactly what I was looking at, but I do remember reading about it and and then adding the notes. Hey Billy. I watched Parker kick some pirate ass earlier on Twitch. Let's say you did. I think it went fairly well, Billy, all things considered. I know that one girl at the end was a little problematic. Buggy combos. How recent is that game, by the way? I asked, but then we immediately got sidetracked about the movie, and I don't think I don't know if don't know if I caught an answer if you gave one, but you might have given one. Okay, it's older than I thought. Oh, really? I think you'd been going for a while before I came in, though, hadn't you? Because I noticed a notification, and I had intended to join up, and then I got sidetracked, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh wait, I forgot Parker's on. And when I actually went to check, I wasn't even sure if you would still be on or not. A lot of times when you're on, I either miss the notification, or I just don't have time in that moment. I'm not near the computer. Okay. Okay. I think I was right about this being a quick one. I'm actually kind of digging what I got going here, but it's a simple design, but it's kind of what I'm liking about it. Was happy to. frog's familiar? Maybe a fly that lives in constant fear of being eaten? Here's a question for you guys. I gave him this like lily pad poncho, but he's got these classic wizard sleeves coming out. Should I keep those or should I ditch those? Do you think that kind of clashes with the lily pad poncho? Aphid. Stop it, Mark. A cat would, like, eat this guy. Wouldn't it? Firefly's not bad. You know, I was thinking when I do a color pass, I would add like a glow effect. Maybe I'll actually put a Firefly there. It's not a bad idea. Here, give me a second. I gotta pull up some Firefly reference. See what the hell those things look like. I can picture a cartoony version of one, which is maybe exactly what I'll end up doing, but... Okay. I'll definitely be exaggerating this a bit, but why not? It does, yeah. The Frog is a very good movie that I don't think gets nearly enough credit. I think it's getting more credit now, but when it came out, it didn't get nearly enough love. Alright, I'll take it. I'll throw a little bit of a background in there, though. I'm not going to go too crazy, but I'll do a little bit. Yeah. Let us ink. We have favorite wizards. Go. Before you ask, I don't know if I know enough wizards to have a favorite. Merlin, there's Gandalf. I don't even know if I can name another one off the top of my head. Doctor Strange, if that counts. That's the favorite, or are we just naming wizards? Because that's kind of what I devolved into extremely fast. Did you ever watch, was it a BBC or Sci-Fi? What was that? It was a Merlin show for a little while, wasn't there? I don't think I ever watched it. I don't remember if it was supposed to be good or not. feel like I either heard it was terrible or heard it was great. I can't remember. Was it a sci-fi show, Billy? And I mean, like the channel, or was it a BBC thing? Also, welcome back, Parker. Like there was a period where Sword in the Stone was one of my favorite Disney movies. I remember watching it a fair bit as a kid. And I appreciate it now, but I also am aware of how much filler there actually is in that movie, because it's only like, what, like one chapter of the King Arthur story? There's quite a bit of fluff in that movie. And I'm assuming you failed based on that, the structure of that sentence, Parker. I still have an appreciation for it, but it is largely the animation that I appreciate, because the animation is pretty top tier in the era of Disney. Nothing too flashy about it, but just like really strong character animation and really strong like particle effects animation with all the pixie dust and magical transformations and stuff. Yeah, that's the best part of it for sure. Between Merlin and Madame Mim. I'm magnificent. Sorcerer's Apprentice, I guess. The movie with Nicolas Cage has wizards. I guess the actual original short kind of doesn't, because the whole point is that Sorcerer's not around, so Mickey can wreak some havoc trying to clean the place. Actually, no, I guess you do see the wizard at the very beginning of it, now that I think of it. Yeah, I agree though, Mark, because it's like it had the potential, but it didn't necessarily live up. Quite a few other ones from that era, in fact. But yeah, they want to do the, which I think is such a weird. I mean, I guess the Disney ones kind of part of their thing is like people grew up with it and they bring their kids or whatever. But like so many of those remakes, just in general, whether it's Disney or not, it's like they're doing it for the name recognition, but then they're changing them sometimes. Again, Disney's not a good example of it because they're practically doing shot for shots, but like RoboCop and things like that. It's like the only people that recognize that brand are fans of the original that don't want to see it remade, and the people that don't know the original get nothing out of that brand, so there's no recognition. I don't understand the logic there. I don't know if you guys saw that Fox posted on the Discord a while ago that Craig McCracken, who is the creator of Powerpuff Girls, recently brought it back. And when he was asked what made him want to bring back Powerpuff Girls, he said that he actually pitched Cartoon Network like 16 brand new original show ideas, and they rejected all of them because all they were interested in was nostalgia. And McCracken's got like 3 successful series under his belt as well, so it shouldn't be hard for him to sell a show. But no one wants to take risks anymore. There was gonna be a live action TV show that was gonna be CW was gonna do it, and it fell apart. It sounded like it was an accident waiting to happen though. Diablo Cody was gonna be the showrunner, and apparently they were getting notes that it was too campy and goofy, and they wanted it to be more dark and gritty. So it sounds like Diablo was trying to give it like the actual flavor of the original show, and the network just wasn't getting it, which again would have been the perfect example, because then fans of that original brand aren't getting anything out of it, so you might as well make an original show anyway. They also did a live action Winx Club. I never watched the original Winx Club, but I was sort of, just because of combat fairies and stuff, I thought, oh, it might be worth me checking this out, and it was terrible. They were TV movies, though, in fairness. So, low budget. And made for the same network that originally aired it. I mean, CW and Cartoon Network are both Warner Brothers, but managed differently. Yeah, I think they did like at least 3 of them, right? Or wait, did you say reboot series? So they actually did a whole series? I thought it was just the movies. And they had Jason Alexander and Cheryl Hines as Cosmo and Wanda. Okay. I see what you did there, Parker. Took me a minute, if I'm being completely honest, but I see what you did. Picking up what you're putting down. Okay. And did the show go anywhere, or did it kind of crash and burn pretty fast? Haven't heard this one in a while. Maybe we did. Not really to that, but has anybody watched Wendell and Wild yet on Netflix? Henry Selick's new stop motion. I watched it last night, and I think in terms of animation and just general visuals and art direction, it might be Henry Selick's best work. And I would watch it again just for that. And Wendell and Wild. Check out the trailer. And I don't think they marketed it very well. I think they did it a disservice. And that question kind of proves my point on that one. But yeah, I was a little disappointed in the plot though. It's got, like, every concept and idea in it is super cool, but I just felt like it needed, the script could have been tighter. Like, it was just, it's only about an hour and 45, but it could have been 90 minutes. Or maybe even a little bit less, potentially. And there's like there's like one or two like clunky scenes that you could definitely didn't even need. And there's also like, just like a couple weird moments that could have been consolidated into one moment and then would have flowed better and would have improved the pacing and stuff. But I also was like, because it's Henry Selick, did Nightmare Before Christmas and James and the Giant Peach and Coraline. I was pretty pumped for it, and so my expectations might have been a little on the high side as well. So I'll definitely give it another shot, and I might be a lot more like forgiving of those issues on my next viewing, or maybe those issues won't even bother me at all. I don't know. But I was definitely a little disappointed last night. I was so invested in the beginning. Like the first 15 minutes, I was like so into it. And then it kind of lost me a little bit. It never lost me completely, but I was just kind of like, this isn't quite what I want it to be. The main character, Kat, is a super cool character design, especially for a stop motion character. But despite my criticisms, I would still say it's worth watching just for the visuals and the animation. And just some of the cool, super cool ideas in it. Like, I did enjoy watching it, I just was also disappointed.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure
Yeah,
it
well,
out.
he made both those movies, so that tracks.
Like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
On the note of it being, I think, not marketed very well, as well as I saw the trailer at the beginning of October, and it said it was coming this Halloween, and I was like, oh shit. But like, I had Netflix open several times since then during October, and had no idea that it had dropped, because it never came up and promoted it on the home screen or anything. And I think, like, I've watched enough animated stuff on there that it should have, you know, the algorithm should have recognized some interest for it. And I did see some promos because it did get a limited theatrical run in some like indie theaters and stuff. So I saw some promos for that, but I didn't necessarily, still didn't, wasn't clear if it was actually on Netflix yet. So I thought it just hadn't come out yet, and it wasn't actually till the Halloween party that somebody mentioned it.
They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Had you heard of it before now, Billy? The thing is, it was like it's not super Halloweeny, but it is an appropriate one for Halloween. She's able to summon demons that can raise the dead. Is the theme, is the story rather. And so on the surface, it's very Halloweeny. What they do with it isn't necessarily super Halloweeny, but it still makes sense to market it as a Halloweeny thing. And it kind of just came and went. Nobody was aware of it. And like I said, I was a little disappointed in it. So maybe more people would have been talking about it if it was a bit stronger. But even still, I think there is a lot of people that would like it. They just never got a chance at it. But if I'm being honest, even Corpse Bride had to grow on me a little bit. And I'm a big Tim Burton fan. So like I said, I might love it when I watch it again. Only time will tell. I would, like I said, I would recommend watching it. It doesn't have to be a Halloween movie. I would say if next Halloween rolls around and you haven't watched it yet, then I'd give you a bit more of a push towards it. But yeah, you don't have to wait till then. It's actually very wintry. Like there's actually snow on the ground throughout the entire thing. Yeah. My original hope when I knew it was coming out was I was thinking of marathoning it with Coraline, but then I kind of missed that it actually had finally dropped, and then I just kind of wanted to watch it. And actually, honestly, even Coraline, I think Coraline is a good movie, but it is another one where I liked it the first time, but I was more impressed by the visuals than anything, and then I liked it more on repeat viewings. So it might just be a Henry Selick thing. Like maybe plot's not as strongest, but he makes up for it in other areas. If it's a shock to anybody to hear that he directed Nightmare, it's because it was Tim Burton's story and characters, and Disney wanted to make it because Batman had been so successful, among other things. but he was contractually obligated, I think, to the second Batman, and I think maybe also Edward Scissorhands around that same time. So he couldn't take on directing duties, so it went to Henry Selick. But Disney wanted to cash in on Tim Burton's name recognition, which is the whole reason they wanted to make the movie in the first place. So they insisted on marketing it as Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas. And apparently, and I don't think Tim himself made any efforts to hide the fact that he didn't direct it. Like, I think he was, when asked, I think he was open about that. But naturally, most people don't notice that stuff. They just see what's on the poster, right? So Selick never got quite the recognition for that he should. Maybe, but I almost think there is some, because he does have, I think he is doing, he's got another animated one in the works, I think, and I'm not positive that it's not with Disney. Although the original Frankenweenie short was done for Disney, so when he did that Frankenweenie movie, he kind of had to do it with Disney. But I guess thinking about it, that might be the only Disney thing. Actually, no, he's Alice in Wonderland, I guess. So I guess he's been with them off and on over the years. Yeah, totally. To go too gritty on this lily pad. I want it to look kind of wet and slimy, but also not, you know, should be a little battered probably too. Officially announced, because they've been like talking about that for so long. I never know if I can believe it or not. That wouldn't be Disney though, unless Disney bought the rights, because that was the original one, was the Geffen Company, which I don't think exists anymore. Okay. I am both excited and terrified about that. Because Beetlejuice is one of my favorites. And I would love to see Keaton back in that role, and I think it really gives Tim a chance to really go like classic Tim on it, right? Like, just because he can just go hog wild with his style in it. But at the same time, like, revisiting those franchises so long after has such mixed results often. Yeah, or even all the way back to like pretty much since the first movie came out, I think. And I don't think Tim was super enthused for a while, but I also think Keaton said he wouldn't do it without Tim Burton. I think Keaton has gone on record as saying that Beetlejuice is one of his favorite characters he's ever played, though, as well. Learn to throw your voice, impress your friends, fun at parties. Really? I love the Beetlejuice cartoon. Kevin Smith actually has a story. If you've heard of Kevin Smith's story about writing the script for Superman Lives, when Clerks came out, or maybe it was even one of his next ones, Warner Brothers was interested in signing him on to write some stuff that was in development, and he ultimately chose to write the Superman script, which never got made. But one of the things that was offered to him apparently was Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. Apparently was the name of the original concept for the sequel. Why? I have no idea. Oh yeah, totally. I love the cartoon, but he is a completely different character. Because he's fun to watch. Like, I love him in the movie, but he's also an asshole. And he's kind of a lovable goof in the cartoon. Does Obi-Wan Kenobi count as a wizard? Uncle Ben calls him an old wizard, but I feel like if you watch the first movie without any of the others, he kind of lives up to the wizard idea. He is kind of Merlin-esque. But once you find out he's one of many Jedi, I don't know if he feels very wizardy anymore. Space wizard. I agree in terms of story and themes, but I also think it still needs to be considered sci-fi in addition to it. I think it's sci-fi fantasy. I think is the because there's undeniably sci-fi elements, right? Like there is a lot of fictional science in it. But the actual story definitely leans much more into fantasy tropes and ideas than it does sci-fi or typical sci-fi. Yeah, definitely. Dread Harry. Okay, I know that name, Billy, but you're gonna have to help me out. Okay, yeah, I could see that. Especially that first movie. Just because the way that Luke is kind of swept away into this whole kind of other world he didn't really barely knew about. Like he kind of knew this stuff existed, but he had never experienced any of it, you know? That's also how I feel about the movie Wanted, which is very different, but to me that's much more of a fantasy than it is a typical action movie. Because it kind of has almost an Alice in Wonderland vibe with this guy that just has a really shitty life. And then ends up on this, like, crazy adventure. Okay. I don't know if it was from you or someone else, Billy, but I've never read that, but I am aware of it. I feel like you yourself brought it up on the stream once before, and that's why I knew the name. Is it from a Vancouver author as well? Am I remembering that right? Okay. Well then, fine. There's a book series I've never read that my um, sort of semi uncle, but not really, told me about one time years ago. That, and I'm pretty sure it's either a sci-fi or fantasy series. Like I think it's a genre series of some kind. But it's a Vancouver writer. I'm pretty sure he said, and and a lot of the locations he describes are from Vancouver. And so if you're a Vancouverite, you kind of can pick up on all this stuff, but I forget what the hell it was called or who the author was. And there was a moment where I thought maybe that was what we were talking about there. Are we talking about the Arrowverse or something prior to that? Okay, because a lot of that's still on. I've never watched any of Arrow. I've watched a bunch of Flash, but I need to catch up on it. And I think I watched about half of Supergirl. I need to catch up on that as well. But I've never watched Arrow, and I've never watched Legends of Tomorrow. I have Flash. When I start Volume 3 of Combat Fairies, Flash and Supergirl will be pretty soon on my list. I shied away from it a bit before just because I had so much on my Netflix list, and those are kind of long seasons. But I, at this point, don't have a ton left on Netflix, so I'll probably do it pretty quick. Although some of the shows I was watching before have new seasons coming out. I just watched the newest season of Dairy Girls. Got The Crown going right now. If you've ever thought to yourself, I wonder if I could hate the royal family more, I bet you can, and you can. And watching The Crown is how. I know they claim it's inaccurate, but I honestly, I don't really believe them that much. I'm enjoying the history of it, but I hate the family more and more with every episode. Yeah, I know. That's the weird thing too. When I was watching what I have seen of Supergirl and Flash, there'd be these big gaps during the crossover episodes. Kind of. I mean, it had been recommended to me by a few different people over the years, just because apparently it was like a really well written show and really well acted and stuff. And I like watching pretty much. I'll give anything a shot, right? Like, I talk about sci-fi and fantasy and action and comedy more than anything, but like I'll watch all the dramatic stuff and the historical stuff. I do like watching that stuff as well. So I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot, but I felt like it'd be a very homeworky kind of show because I'm not really into the royal family at all. So I put it off for a long time. But then after Lizzie died there, I kind of thought, well, if I'm gonna watch it, now's the time. People are gonna be talking about them more and stuff. And I was actually surprised at how much I got into it, just because it is so well written and so well acted. And like I said, I don't like the family, but there is a lot of history there, and the history is kind of interesting. But it will make you hate them even more. Especially when you see what a sniveling little shit Charles is. But just the whole existence of the monarchy is just such bullshit. They literally think that God chose their bloodline to be better than everybody else, and that's why they have to rule. That's literally what their whole thing is. In that you feel like it's homework? Oh, gotcha. I do think, even though I don't like the family, because to be like, The Crown's not reality TV, it's all scripted. But I think there is reason to watch it just from like the historical element, if that's of interest to you, of course. It's not like I wouldn't call it required viewing or anything. But. And so far, the show has covered stuff from either before I was born or when I was way too young to really be aware of what was going on. So I kind of feel like I'm getting filled in on some stuff. The areas where I doubt is historical accuracy, of course, are more when it's got conversations between certain characters that are happening behind closed doors. Because then it's like, well, who was there to be able to write this, right? So I think there's obviously some guesswork going on there. But I think the broad strokes of it are probably pretty accurate. And the showrunner, his track record, it's almost all political stuff or other things to do with the monarchy. And I think a lot of that information is out there. I think a lot of people on the inside have come out with different things over the years. Anonymously helped with certain books and things, documentaries. It is an epically long list. Here is the thing, though. I would say, though, with it, Parker, I got into it, but I got into it as a drawing show. And because it's so dramatic and it's all dialogue and stuff, I don't feel like I missed a beat by watching it while I was drawing. But if I was sitting and watching it, it would feel much more homeworky to me, I think. I'm sure I would have gotten restless. But as a background show, where I'm not giving it my full attention, and yet I kind of am at the same time, it was a good show. Like, I actually kind of did some math in my head when I decided to start the new season today, because I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm working on this music video. How much longer is that going to take? Then I'm going to do this, like, because I do have intentions of taking a break. So I was sort of like, well, okay, if I'm going to chill out for a bit, I might stop watching it. But if I need this long to finish this, then I can probably finish the season. It was the whole thing. I should get a big giant Kit Kat to commemorate it. The universe doesn't like me taking breaks though, right? Like I finally finished Combat Fairies, wanted to take a break, but Combat Fairies was delayed, so I had to catch up on some other stuff. So then I finished that, finally I could take a break. The next day I find out I got a music video on my to-do list. And again, Noreen, if you're watching, I am happy to have it, and I am excited, and I am actually enjoying it, but the timing of it was awkward. And then I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, I might actually be done next week. And then I got a text about another commission. I'm excited about the commission as well, but I'm like, really? Come on, universe. Just give me a couple weeks here, will you? Because I am eager to start Volume 3 as well, but I also realize, in the interest of my health, gotta take a little bit of downtime here. In fairness, my break thing will also include some work stuff, but it won't be like an intense thing. It won't be like a big animation project or a big comic. I want to color some of my past Twitch things. I want to see if I can mess around with some of my Twitch settings so people can actually do shit with their bits. I'm going to do some, I want to outline some story ideas I have so I can kind of tinker with them a little bit as I go. I don't know yet. We'll have to see. Oh, text-to-speech will be one. I'll do that. Jace Bellerin? What's that from, Billy? Oh, okay. Chandra Nalar, if I was okay. I never played Magic, but I always love the art in it. Cam, who me and Parker have mentioned at different times, he's a streamer. I don't know if he has recently, but he used to play in Magic tournaments and stuff. In fact, for a while when they were living in Kelowna, they actually came back to Vancouver for a day just so he could play in a tournament. Oh yeah? Billy, are you a D&D guy? I can't remember if this has come up. And if so, the follow-up question is, what do you think of the D&D movie trailer? Because I think it looks really cool, but I think the fundamental issue with doing a D&D movie is just that everyone, I mean, it's the same with video game movies too, but maybe even more so with D&D, is like, oh look, not another Christmas song. It's just that like, the game is as serious or as goofy as you want to make it while you're playing. Like, it's entirely up to the crew. And so the movie looks super fun with lots of humor, and I'm down for it. But like, I'm sure some people that take the game way seriously are probably like, what is this bullshit? You should check out the trailer. It does look fun. I've played it a couple times, and I think it's fun. But like, I think it'd be more fun if I played it more to be more into it. But I don't know that I want to play it more, just because, like, the campaign thing where you gotta commit like every week or whatever. Like, that's a tough one for someone like me who, you know, I kind of get lost in my work zone sometimes and get frustrated when I can't. Depends on what you like about the old movie. You notice that Thora Birch in the original Dungeons & Dragons movie looks exactly like the princess from Neverending Story? This is not a Christmas.
When I was just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am, but right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young
Yeah, I have a friend that was really into it for a while and kept asking me to join, but was only interested. And I was like, "Oh, I'll come sometime," but like he wasn't interested unless I could come like every Tuesday or whatever day it would have been. So I've played in a couple just random kind of one-off campaigns. Have you ever tried it, Parker? I think the thing with the learning curve is you have more fun. The more into character you can get, the more fun you have. But until you really kind of get used to the gameplay and how it all works, it's hard to lose yourself in character because you're just sort of like preoccupied with how it all works. And I think I've played it at least twice, maybe 3 times. And like towards the end of every game, I would start feeling a bit more comfortable. But I hadn't done it enough, so every time I had a new game, I would have to kind of get used to it again. Yeah, you almost have to think of it less as a game and more of like just like a role-playing experience. Like, it's not really a game that you win; it's more this that you play through a story. You know. Well, and that one I think could easily go down that route. Well, I mean, if you go for a long form campaign, I think you could easily go down that route. Because then you're like, you're in it until you're done that campaign, but then by then you've kind of formed this habit. Now you're like, well, let's start another one then, you know? Yeah, I'm going to use the brush to add some watery effects, but we are almost done with our frog wizard here, guys. I guess when I've played, it's been more on the roleplay. I mean, there have been battle moments, but it was a bit more on the roleplay side, which is just how the DM directed it, not something that I chose. But I had fun with it that way. I'm not complaining. Okay. Our frog wizard is done. That's where my obsession's probably going to land for a while as well, Parker. Okay. Thank you, Billy. So there is our frog wizard. Again, don't really know where the hell this came from, but there it is. I'm kind of happy with it. I like the lily pad. That's my favorite part of it. I see what you did there, Parker. Thank you, Mark. All right, guys. I'll see you next week. I have an idea for Tuesday night stream, but there's a possibility I might change it to something more topical. We're gonna wait and see how things go. Yeah, Parker's pretty quick on the puns. But I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody.